Over the past day and a half, we've been here in Sweden, and we've learned about all the experiences of patients from Sweden and Denmark and Norway and all the Nordic countries, but also we've heard from more experienced countries as well who have a great tradition in patient advocacy. At TIF, we have what is called the Patient Advocacy Program, which I will now proceed to tell you a little bit more about. And it's the way that TIF makes sure that your voice, whether you belong to an association that is strong and powerful or not, is heard at every decision-making level. To start off with, George in the morning, through Dr. Andrula and his presentation, alluded to the idea of what an expert patient is. For us at TIF, an expert patient is a term that is used to describe a patient that has not only disease-specific knowledge, but also knowledge and understanding of the general healthcare system, at least in their country, their policies, the things that Eleni has just covered, and other legislations and recommendations that affect their health and quality of life. So it's not enough for you to know your disease as a patient. It goes beyond that. So why do we need expert patients? Expert patients are able to actively participate and contribute to decision concerning their own health. Dr. Andrula in the morning talked about becoming equal partners in healthcare decisions. In order to become reliable and equal partners, you need to be able to effectively argue and document with evidence-based information about what you are arguing about. So this is just a little bit of a prelude. The idea of the expert patient and TIF's patient advocacy program is not new. It began in 1997. I believe TIF was one of the first, perhaps, organizations to develop such a program or to believe that this is necessary, especially as many countries and national healthcare systems move towards having patient-centered healthcare policies. So in 1997, with the desire to increase patients' participation and active contribution, TIF developed the TIF's Expert Patients Program. Moving along into 2009, the International Core Expert Patient Group, which we have Loris, who was part of that group, here with us today. George would have been here as well, but we also have some other board members who are not with us at this conference. So, for instance, Riyad, who is based in Canada, Loizos, who is a former TIF board member from Cyprus, Anton, who is also based in Cyprus, etc. They came together to form the International Core Expert Patient Group. This group worked between 2010 and 2012 to actually develop more patient education. So the idea was to train a nuclei of patients and with a snowball effect for that group of patients to grow stronger and stronger and bigger and bigger. And in 2014, technology gave us the opportunity, perhaps we were a little bit of a latecomer to that scene, but it gave us the opportunity through the Thali Course, which my colleague Katia will talk to you about in the following presentation. She has the fortune to be the last presenter of the day. So the Thali Course is available online. It's available in 7 languages at the present moment, and it's designed to provide the disease-specific information that I mentioned before. It's more than just knowing how you feel as a patient. It's documented, and it will. I heard Thekla say the other day that she has taken it, and it's a test to know how much you know yourself, how much you know your disease. So it only takes about 3 hours to complete. So if you have time one Saturday morning, I strongly urge you to go and take that. And then in 2019, moving into a more structured phase, we decided to streamline our patient advocacy and expert patient group and developed the TIF Patient Advocacy Program. So it's more structured and it provides more opportunities for patients to become involved in TIF's activities. Our main objective through this advocacy program is to, as I said before, achieve the active contribution of patients in all of TIF's policies and programs, and it's divided into two separate components. The first component are educational and capacity building opportunities, like the one we are here today, like the Thali Course, like all our conferences and all our educational activities for becoming a patient expert. And the second part is the TIF Patient Advocacy Group. So this is a group that has come together. It's formed at the global level and then the regional and national level. So there's 3 tiers. We'll get into the structure and membership a little bit later on. And for this group, TIF provides all the educational, informational, and capacity building knowledge that is necessary in order to become a true expert patient. So this is what the structure of our patient advocacy group looks like. It's a bit complicated, don't be afraid of it. It's quite, bless you, it's quite simple, to be honest. So if we start from the outward going inward, we have 6 regions of the world in accordance to the World Health Organization. And in each region, TIF has many members. The members of in each region come together and nominate 1 to 2 patients to attend, to participate in this patient advocacy group. Then they form the regional patient advocacy group, and then those come together and form the global group. The global group is mainly the core expert patient group that I mentioned at the beginning. At the moment, we have 216 members in this TIF patient advocacy group that are representing 63 countries of the world. There we cover, the patients, and there's patients and parents, both thalassemia and sickle cell disease, and we range between the ages of 18 to 65. So what's the significance of this group? Well, we didn't have the opportunity to actually present the Thalassaemia International Federation during this conference, but in brief, we work across 5 pillars of work, which you can see here, including advocacy, education, networking, projects, and research. At the core of each and every one of our activities is the patient voice. We demonstrate real needs and the real perspectives in every activity, every publication, every event, every project, and every document. And therefore, it's hugely imperative to bring the patient voice and the journey. Each journey is different, and through the years, it has become different, to the forefront, because at the end of the day, we want to create new policies and to make thalassemia and sickle cell disease a better experience. So, the contribution of the TIF patient advocacy group is that its members have the opportunity to participate in all of TIF's events, either as faculty members, so we had quite a few faculty members speaking this morning, or as participants. Furthermore, they participate with reviewing all our publications or contributing to their translations, reviewing our e-course for thalassemia and sickle cell disease, as well as suggesting the development of position papers or reviewing the position papers that we're actually doing. Position papers are a great advocacy tool, even at the national level, to submit to your national health authorities. And and they have also contributed to the development of a specific chapter of the transfusion-dependent thalassemia guidelines focused on patient engagement. So this is just a small timeline that I will go through of what we have achieved over the past 3 years, since 2019, when we started this more structured approach. So we had our first meeting in Athens in June 2019, and since then we had, in response to the COVID crisis, 7 virtual meetings at the regional level. We had 7 advisory board meetings, and we also participated in 5 meetings with national health authorities, and all of this was going on during COVID, which I think is impressive on its own. And moving on into 2021, we had 11 meetings, community advisory board meetings, 3 meetings with regulatory agencies. Now, this is particularly important because this involved providing the patient perspective on gene therapy, mainly in Europe. So we had meetings with the Greek authorities, the UK authorities, and the European Medicines Agency, regarding the Zynteglo gene therapy. And furthermore, we organized a capacity building webinar. As I said before, TIF provides the opportunities, the educational foundations for the expert patients to continue to become expert patients. So you don't take the course and then that's it for the rest of your life. You need to keep on learning. And of course, we had our international conference last year, where we had, again, a lot of speakers and chairpersons from our TPAG program. Perhaps the most impressive amalgamation of the patient voice was demonstrated in the Global Thalassaemia Review, which came out last year. Thanks to the voice, not only of our TPAG members, but of all our associations across the world, we were able to recognize the unmet needs that exist across the world. This is a very busy slide, but it's just to show that the voice of the patients is really coming through in all our activities. Furthermore, last August, when Bluebird announced their withdrawal from Europe, it culminated in a mobilization of TPAG members into various actions that are still going on. So we still had, in May 2022, actions regarding our outcry to the withdrawal of gene therapy from Europe. So here you can see that we had mass media outcries. We had a call to action which were sent to members of the European Parliament and to the EU Ministries of Health, a letter to the Commissioner, a meeting with the European Medicines Agency, a TPAG members meeting, and a roundtable of discussion with both patients and healthcare professionals. Also, very important, during the first months of COVID, our TPAG members came together and we developed these resources in a number of languages. Tiff at that time was, and still is, I believe, the leader of providing information on thalassemia and COVID in an array of subjects, including the proposition for a specific pathway for safer blood transfusions. And just in the interest of some analytics, these documents were downloaded over 37,000 times from our website. This is an overview of our training webinars. We had a capacity building webinar series last September on all of these topics. These were covered by expert patients, once again, and they were participated by 691 individuals. They are still available on TIF's website, so you can go at your leisure and rewatch any of them. And that's part of the enduring educational opportunities that TIF provides. It's not we're here today and we go away and we forget about what we've learned here. We like to have an enduring relationship with each and every one of our participants. So, it's an opportunity for you guys to become more involved, to make sure that your voice is at the forefront of policy making and policy planning. Of course, there are certain eligibility criteria for people to participate in this program. The number one, of course, is to have gone through the Thali Course. But generally, we try to be as inclusive as possible. Like I said, we, as TIF, have a responsibility to each and every member to provide all the educational material that is needed in order to prepare for meetings and to generally sustain lifelong education. But there's also some roles and responsibilities of the members as well, such as to have up-to-date understanding of the disease area and of policies and the infrastructure. So with that, I will thank you for your attention. I think I went too fast, and thank you.